The day you finally earn six figures is supposed to be the day your money problems disappear. That's what almost everyone believes. Make $100,000 a year and life gets easier. You imagine a nice apartment, vacations without checking your bank account, dinners where you order what you want instead of what's cheapest, and maybe even enough left over to invest for the future. But what if I told you that millions of Americans who earn $100,000 a year still lie awake at night wondering how they'll pay next month's bills? They drive expensive cars they secretly can't afford. They smile in family photos while drowning in debt. Some have less than $1,000 in savings. Others have retirement accounts that barely exist. And the most shocking part isn't that they're making bad choices. It's that the system quietly pushes them toward this outcome without them even realizing it. Picture this. It's 6:30 in the morning. An alarm screams across a dark bedroom. A man named Michael reaches over and shuts it off. He's 38 years old. He works in a respected office job. His salary is $105,000 a year. On paper, he's successful. The kind of person many people dream of becoming. He gets dressed, grabs coffee, kisses his wife goodbye, and drives away in a shiny SUV that makes the neighbors think everything is going perfectly. But halfway to work, his phone buzzes. It's not a friendly message. It's a reminder that his credit card payment is due tomorrow. The balance is over $18,000. His checking account doesn't have enough money. He sighs, turns the music louder, and keeps driving as if nothing happened. From the outside, he looks rich. Inside, he's terrified. Michael isn't unusual. He's everywhere. He could be your coworker, your cousin, your friend, or even your future self. Across America, thousands of people earn salaries that once sounded unbelievable. Yet every month feels like a race they can never win. The paycheck arrives with hope. Then, almost instantly, it's gone. Rent or mortgage, car payment, insurance, student loans, groceries, childcare, streaming services, phone bills, subscriptions they forgot they even signed up for. By the end of the month, the account is almost empty again. Then the cycle repeats. Here's the question no one asks. If $100,000 isn't enough anymore, then what is? $200,000? $300,000? Or is something much bigger happening that most people can't see? For years, we've been told a simple story. Work hard, get good grades, find a stable job, climb the career ladder, earn more money. Everything else will take care of itself. It sounds logical, it sounds comforting, but reality tells a different story. Today, earning more doesn't automatically mean keeping more. In many cases, the more people earn, the faster they spend. And before they realize what's happening, they're trapped in a lifestyle that demands every dollar they make. Imagine getting a raise you've waited years for. Your boss congratulates you. Friends celebrate. You feel proud. Maybe this is finally the moment everything changes. But then something strange happens. You decide you deserve a nicer apartment. After all, you've worked hard. Then you upgrade your car because everyone at work drives something newer. Your old phone suddenly feels outdated. Vacations become more expensive. Restaurants become more frequent. Little by little, your monthly expenses quietly grow until they're almost exactly the same as your new paycheck. You make more money than ever before, yet somehow you don't feel richer. Sound familiar? There's a reason for that. Psychologists call it lifestyle inflation. Most people never notice it because it doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks into your life one small decision at a time. One upgrade, one subscription, one monthly payment, one reward for working hard. None of these choices seem dangerous by themselves. Together, they become a financial prison with soft pillows and shiny walls. Companies understand this better than most people understand themselves. Every advertisement whispers the same message. You've earned this. You deserve better. Success looks like this car. Happiness looks like this house. Confidence looks like this watch. Freedom looks like this vacation. Every screen you look at is trying to convince you that buying something will make you feel complete. And sometimes it works, for a few hours, maybe a few days. Then the excitement fades. So you buy something else. The average person doesn't wake up one morning and decide to become buried in debt. It happens slowly, one swipe at a time. Credit cards make spending feel painless. Buy now, pay later sounds harmless. Monthly payments look small enough to ignore. Instead of asking, can I afford this? People start asking, can I afford the monthly payment? That tiny change in thinking changes everything. Think about a luxury car. 30 years ago, many families would save for years before buying one. Today, someone walks into a dealership, signs a few papers, and drives away in a vehicle that costs more than half their annual salary. The payment fits into the monthly budget, so it feels affordable, until insurance increases. Fuel prices rise. Maintenance arrives. Suddenly, one decision affects every other part of life. Now multiply that by a mortgage, furniture, vacations, electronics, weddings, birthdays, holidays, and emergencies. Every payment takes another bite out of the paycheck. Soon, the salary that once seemed enormous starts feeling painfully average. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Inflation has quietly changed the meaning of money itself. A salary that sounded wealthy 20 years ago doesn't buy the same life today. Housing prices have climbed, groceries cost more. Healthcare keeps getting more expensive. Childcare can feel like another mortgage payment. Even simple, everyday necessities demand more money than they once did. Imagine filling your grocery cart. A few years ago, you walked out with bags full of food. Today, you look down at the receipt and wonder how so little costs so much. The products are smaller. The prices are higher. The paycheck may have grown, but the purchasing power hasn't kept up. Now add taxes into the picture. When people hear $100,000 a year, many imagine someone taking home $8,300 every month. That's not reality. Federal taxes, state taxes in many places, Social Security, Medicare, health insurance, retirement deductions, and other payroll costs shrink that paycheck before it ever reaches the bank account. The number people proudly announce isn't the number they actually live on. Then comes housing. In many American cities, buying a home has become one of the biggest financial challenges in modern history. Mortgage payments have climbed alongside interest rates. Rent continues rising. Families spend an enormous percentage of their income simply keeping a roof over their heads. Add utilities, property taxes, maintenance, and repairs, and housing alone can consume a frightening amount of even a six-figure income. Yet something even more powerful is happening beneath the surface. It's not just economics, it's psychology. Human beings naturally compare themselves to others. If everyone around you drives luxury cars, your reliable car suddenly feels old. If coworkers take expensive vacations, staying home feels like failure. Social media makes this even worse. Every scroll shows smiling faces on beaches, new homes, designer clothes, perfect kitchens, dream weddings, and exotic destinations. What you don't see are the loans, the credit card balances, the stress, or the sleepless nights behind those pictures. Comparison has become one of the most expensive habits in modern life. A young professional might earn $100,000, but if everyone in their social circle earns slightly more, they feel poor. They spend more just to keep up, even when nobody actually expects them to. The competition exists mostly inside their own mind. This creates a dangerous cycle. Stress leads to spending. Spending creates debt. Debt creates more stress. More stress creates the desire for comfort. Comfort often comes through buying something new. Before long, shopping stops being about needs and becomes emotional medicine. Here's something surprising. Studies have repeatedly found that after basic needs and financial security are met, happiness doesn't rise nearly as fast as income does. Yet millions continue chasing bigger salaries, believing the next raise will finally deliver peace. But peace never arrives because expenses keep running ahead. That's why someone earning $60,000 while living below their means may sleep better than someone earning $150,000 who owes money to everyone. Money itself isn't the problem. The relationship people build with money is. And the deeper we look, the more uncomfortable this truth becomes. Because the biggest reason six-figure earners stay broke isn't hidden in their paycheck. It's hidden in the story they've been believing their entire lives. And once you see that story, it's almost impossible to unsee it. The story begins long before anyone signs their first paycheck. As children, most people are taught one simple equation: study hard, get a good job, earn more money, success will follow. It sounds reasonable because for decades it often worked. But the world changed faster than the advice. Today, many people are following an old map in a completely different landscape. Think about your first real paycheck. The excitement is unforgettable. You feel independent, capable, like the future has finally started. But that feeling doesn't last long. Before you know it, everyone has an opinion about what you should do with your money. Banks want you to borrow. Car dealerships want you to upgrade. Credit card companies want you to spend. Luxury brands want you to impress strangers. Every business is competing for the same thing, your next dollar. And they're very good at winning. Here's something most people never realize. The average American sees thousands of advertisements every single day. Not all of them look like advertisements. Some are social media posts. Some are influencer videos. Some are movies where successful characters live in beautiful homes and drive expensive cars. Slowly, your brain starts connecting wealth with appearance instead of financial freedom. That's why someone with a paid-off 10-year-old car often feels less successful than someone driving a brand new luxury SUV with a 7-year loan. One person owns their car. The other belongs to the bank. Yet society usually celebrates the second person. This illusion costs millions of families more than they can imagine. Meet Sarah. She's 32 years old and works in marketing. Her salary is just over $100,000. She finally receives a promotion she's been chasing for years. Everyone congratulates her. Her parents are proud. Her friends tell her it's time to upgrade her lifestyle. At first, she resists, then she thinks, maybe they're right. She moves into a nicer apartment because she can afford it. She replaces her old furniture because it doesn't match the new place. She buys designer clothes to fit into her new office. Her old laptop suddenly feels outdated. Her weekend coffee becomes a daily habit. Food delivery replaces cooking because she's busy. None of these choices feel reckless. Individually, they're harmless. Together, they quietly consume nearly every dollar of her raise. 6 months later, Sarah checks her bank account and feels confused. She earns more money than ever before, yet she's saving less than when she made $70,000. How is that possible? Because income increased. But expectations increased even faster. This is one of the most dangerous financial traps in modern America. People don't just spend based on what they have. They spend based on who they think they're becoming. The higher someone climbs professionally, the greater the pressure to look successful. Better clothes, better neighborhood, better vacations, better restaurants, better schools for the kids, better everything. But every better comes with another monthly payment. Then something unexpected happens. Life reminds everyone that surprises are guaranteed. The water heater breaks. The car needs repairs. A family member gets sick. A company announces layoffs. A child needs emergency medical care. Suddenly, the carefully balanced financial life falls apart. This is where the difference between income and wealth becomes painfully clear. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you keep. And millions of Americans have confused the two. Someone making $50,000 with no debt, 6 months of emergency savings, and consistent investments may actually be in a stronger financial position than someone earning $150,000 while living paycheck to paycheck. It sounds unbelievable. Until you look at the numbers. Imagine two neighbors. The first earns $120,000 a year. Every month, almost every dollar already has a destination before it even arrives. Mortgage, car loans, credit cards, student loans, insurance, subscriptions, private school, vacation payments, furniture financing, home improvements. The second neighbor earns $70,000. Their home is smaller. Their car is older. They cook at home. They avoid unnecessary debt. Every month they save 15% of their income. 10 years later, who sleeps better? Who worries less during an economic downturn? Who has more choices? Often it's the second neighbor. Not because they earned more, because they kept more. That's the part people rarely post on social media. Freedom doesn't always look impressive. Sometimes freedom looks boring. It looks like saying no when everyone else says yes. It looks like driving the same reliable car for another 5 years. It looks like investing instead of upgrading. It looks like cooking dinner while friends post expensive restaurant photos. It looks ordinary today, but extraordinary 10 years later. Unfortunately, modern culture rewards appearances much faster than patience. Imagine posting a picture of a new sports car, thousands of likes. Now imagine posting a picture of your emergency savings account reaching $100,000. Almost nobody reacts. One creates attention. The other creates freedom. Most people accidentally chase attention because attention feels immediate. Freedom takes years. Our brains naturally prefer immediate rewards over future benefits. Psychologists call this present bias. It's one of the strongest forces influencing financial behavior. Your brain says, enjoy today. Your future self quietly whispers, please think about tomorrow. The problem is that tomorrow doesn't speak very loudly. Today shouts. That's why saving money often feels painful. You're sacrificing something real today for something invisible tomorrow. Buying the newest phone gives instant excitement. Investing that same money gives almost no emotional reward in the moment. The numbers quietly grow in the background, no applause, no compliments, no excitement. Yet those quiet decisions often create the biggest financial transformations. Let's talk about debt. Not all debt is evil, but all debt demands future income. Every loan is a promise that part of tomorrow's paycheck already belongs to someone else. Think about that. Imagine waking up on January 1st knowing that the first several months of your income are already spoken for before you've earned a single dollar. That's reality for millions of people. Every financial commitment reduces future freedom. The more commitments someone has, the fewer options remain. Then the unexpected happens. An economic slowdown, a health emergency, a company merger. Artificial intelligence replaces certain jobs. Technology changes entire industries. Suddenly, the salary that once felt guaranteed isn't guaranteed anymore. For people living paycheck to paycheck, even a few weeks without income can become a crisis. This explains why so many high-income households experience enormous stress despite impressive salaries. It's not because they don't earn enough. It's because they've built lives that require every dollar to continue arriving without interruption. One missed paycheck becomes a disaster. Financial pressure affects far more than bank accounts. It affects marriages, friendships, mental health, sleep, confidence bought crints under financial stress often carry invisible emotional weight every single day. Children notice it even when nobody says a word. Small disagreements become bigger arguments. Civil decisions become emotional battles. Money itself isn't creating the conflict. The pressure surrounding money is. Then comes another hidden expense that few people calculate. Time. Higher paying careers often demand longer hours, more responsibility, more emails, more meetings, more travel. People start paying others to save time, meal delivery, house cleaning, convenience services, premium subscriptions, express shipping. Each one makes life slightly easier. Each one quietly costs more money. Eventually, The salary increase that was supposed to improve life simply pays for the extra costs created by having less free time. It's a cycle that's difficult to notice while living inside it. But once someone steps back, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Here's something fascinating. Some of the wealthiest people don't focus on looking rich. They focus on owning assets. Assets work while you sleep. Liabilities ask for money every month. Yet most people spend years collecting liabilities while believing they're building wealth. A luxury watch may impress strangers. A growing investment portfolio quietly buys future freedom. One changes how people see you, the other changes how you live, and that's a very different thing. This is where the entire conversation begins to shift. Because the biggest financial advantage isn't earning another $20,000. It's learning how money quietly flows into and out of your life without you noticing. Once you understand that invisible flow, everything starts to look different. The grocery store, the shopping mall, the advertisements, the subscriptions, the monthly statements, even your own habits. You begin asking a different question. Not, can I afford this? But what is this choice going to cost the version of me that exists 5 years from now? That single question has changed countless financial futures. And there's one final realization that separates people who spend decades chasing money from those who eventually make money work for them. It's a realization so simple that many people overlook it for most of their lives. The realization doesn't arrive with fireworks. It doesn't happen in a dramatic seminar or after reading one best-selling book. For most people, it comes during an ordinary moment. Maybe it's while staring at a credit card statement late at night. Maybe it's after losing a job they thought was secure. Maybe it's when they realize they've worked for 20 years, earned more money than they ever imagined, and still don't feel financially safe. That's when the question changes. Instead of asking, how can I earn more? They begin asking, where is all my money actually going? That question changes everything. Imagine pouring water into a bucket with tiny holes. Your first instinct is to pour faster. More water, bigger bucket. Work harder. But no matter how much you pour in, the bucket never fills because the real problem isn't the amount of water. It's the leaks. Money works the same way. Most people spend years trying to increase income without fixing the leaks. A forgotten subscription here, daily convenience purchases there. Interest payments quietly growing every month. Impulse shopping after stressful days. Restaurant meals replacing groceries, upgrades that feel small but repeat year after year. Each leak seems harmless. Together they become a river carrying wealth away. Now imagine something different. Instead of receiving a raise, you simply stopped wasting $300 every month. $300 doesn't sound life-changing. But invested consistently over decades, it can become hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the incredible part about money. Small habits repeated for years become extraordinary results. The opposite is also true. Small mistakes repeated for years become financial disasters. This is why wealthy thinking is often surprisingly boring. It isn't built on secret investment tricks. It isn't built on winning the lottery. It isn't built on getting lucky. It's built on thousands of ordinary decisions that almost nobody notices. One less unnecessary purchase, one more investment, one more month without increasing lifestyle expenses. One more year driving the reliable car. One more paycheck where saving comes before spending. These choices rarely feel exciting, but neither does planting a tree, until years later, when everyone wonders how it became so tall. Let's go back to Michael. Remember him. The man making over $100,000 while secretly worrying about every bill. His life didn't change overnight. One weekend, after another month of stress, he sat down with every financial statement he owned, not to judge himself, not to feel guilty. Just to understand, for the first time, he saw every dollar on one page. The results shocked him. He wasn't poor. He was disorganized. He had subscriptions he hadn't used in over a year. He was paying interest on purchases he barely remembered making. He was spending hundreds each month simply because it felt convenient. He wasn't making bad money. He was making unconscious decisions. Awareness became his turning point. He sold the SUV and bought a dependable used vehicle. Friends questioned him. Some even joked that he must be having financial problems. He smiled. They had no idea he was solving them. He paid off one credit card, then another. He built a small emergency fund, then a bigger one. He started investing automatically every payday before he had a chance to spend the money. Months passed. The stress slowly faded, not because he suddenly earned twice as much, because his money finally had a purpose. Now think about Sarah. She also reached a crossroads. She realized she'd been buying an identity instead of building a future. She stopped trying to impress people who weren't paying her bills. She learned to separate wants from needs. Instead of celebrating every raise with bigger expenses, she celebrated by increasing her investments. 5 years later, she looked almost exactly the same from the outside. But inside, everything had changed. She no longer feared unexpected expenses. She no longer depended on every paycheck arriving exactly on time. She had choices. And in today's world, choices are one of the greatest forms of wealth. Here's a truth that many people never hear. Real wealth isn't measured by your salary. It's measured by how long you could maintain your life if your paycheck stopped tomorrow. Think about that. If work disappeared today, how many months could you continue living without panic? 1 month, 3 weeks, a few days, or several years? That answer says more about financial health than income ever will. The wealthiest mindset isn't, I can buy anything. It's, I don't need to buy everything. That's a completely different way of thinking the world tells you to consume. Financial freedom quietly asks you to choose. The world rewards appearances. Freedom rewards discipline. The world says success should be visible. Real wealth often stays invisible. Many millionaires don't look like millionaires. Many people who look like millionaires aren't. It's one of the greatest illusions of modern society. And social media has made that illusion even stronger. Every day, people compare their behind-the-scenes struggles to someone else's highlight reel. They compare debt to luxury, reality to filters, their ordinary Tuesday to someone else's once-a-year vacation. No wonder so many people feel behind. But comparison has no finish line. There will always be someone earning more, driving something newer, living somewhere bigger, taking another vacation. If happiness depends on beating everyone else, you'll spend your entire life running. The people who eventually find peace step off that race. They define success differently. Success becomes sleeping peacefully, owning more of their time, having the freedom to say no, helping family without borrowing money, taking opportunities instead of avoiding risks because of debt. That's the kind of success money was supposed to create in the first place. Not endless pressure, not constant anxiety, not pretending everything is fine. There's another lesson hiding beneath all of this. Money amplifies habits. Someone who spends carelessly with $50,000 often spends carelessly with $100,000. Someone who manages $50,000 wisely usually becomes even stronger when earning more. Income magnifies behavior. It rarely changes it. That's why financial education matters more than many people realize. Schools teach algebra, history, science, languages, all important. But millions graduate without ever learning how interest works, how investing grows over time, how debt compounds, how taxes affect income, how emotions influence spending. People spend decades earning money without first learning how money behaves. Imagine learning to fly an airplane after takeoff. That's how many adults experience personal finance. They figure it out while already under pressure. The good news? It's never too late. no matter where someone starts, no matter how many mistakes they've made. Every financially secure person once made a first smart decision, then another, then another. Progress doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency. Maybe today isn't the day you double your income. Maybe today is simply the day you finally understand where your money is going. Maybe today is the day you stop trying to look rich and start building real wealth. Maybe today is the day future you has been hoping for, because one day, years from now, you'll look back at this moment, not because you became an overnight millionaire, but because this was the moment you stopped letting money control your life and started controlling it instead. The next time you hear someone say they make $100,000 a year, they must be rich. Remember what you've learned today. A high salary can create comfort. It can create opportunities, but it cannot create financial freedom by itself. Only intentional decisions can do that. The difference between appearing wealthy and actually being financially secure is often invisible in the beginning, obvious in the end. If this video changed the way you think about money, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who believes a bigger paycheck automatically solves every financial problem. You never know. It might help them avoid years of unnecessary stress. And if you want more videos that break down the hidden truths about money, success, and the psychology behind modern life, subscribe and join us for the next journey. Because the most valuable investment you'll ever make isn't in the stock market. It's in the way you think.